Hello everyone, I'm back with another Reddit Addicts episode. If you find my videos entertaining, please kindly subscribe and like them. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions and kind notes. Now, let's get started with today's exciting stories.
I, 28F, have been with my husband, 33M, for 9 years. A few months ago, I found hidden condoms in his dresser. He told me got them at the doctor's office because they were being handed out. Later he confessed he just took them because they were free. Something in my heart told me this wasn't right. In beginning of May he got fired from his job. I tried to comfort him but all my efforts were denied. He started arguing with me a lot about random stuff and would storm out of the house by saying he was sleeping in his car. His car was still outside, so I believe him. This happened at least every other night, if not every night. I don't know why, but I checked the call log on our bill and saw a number I never saw before. He was on the phone with this person for hours. Every single day. I started to check when these calls were being made, and of course it was at night. There were a few calls during the day when he was out running errands. I saved the number to my contacts, and when I went to Snapchat a girl's name came up for that number. I started doing more digging and she was his coworker. I told him that he needed to stop leaving the house at night or he can just leave for good. He stopped but the errands increased during the day and he would take HRS at one store saying he was just looking at stuff. I knew he was on the phone with her but I just didn't care. About 3 weeks ago I found out his password to his phone. Occasionally I would check it to see if there was any texts. But finally 2 weeks ago I found the text messages of them breaking up. He was begging her to not leave him because he needed her support and she told him because of me they can't see each other, and that's not working anymore. They just said bye to each other and that was it. During this time though I did get a great job I started last week. He hasn't worked since May so he thinks I got the job to just cover the bills until he gets the job he wants. The thing is I'm planning on how I'm going to save money, get out of this marriage and get my own place. He doesn't know I know everything and I will not confront him. I have all the evidence I need and when the time is right I will just leave with our daughter when he's not home. Next story. I found out my husband cheated on me. Today I found out my husband cheated on me. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I've been married to my husband for 3 years but had a relationship with him 2 years before our marriage. Throughout our relationship during the early days, we always had issues with him and how he treats other women. My husband is an extremely good-looking man, and I am not just saying this because he's mine. He is flirtatious, charming, and funny. I knew this from the get-go. However, most of the time I could tell him to cut off the women I was concerned about and he'd do it. Or at least he would tell me he would cut them off. Our marriage has become rocky recently. I am still madly in love with him, however I cannot say he feels the same way about me. He tells me he loves my body, me. But I feel like he tells everybody that. Our sex life is amazing. But other than that we are crumbling. I have borderline personality disorder and he is very aware of my mental state. For the most part he's been able to cope and manage with me. Now I feel like he is getting sick of speaking to me regarding my mental health issues. I go to therapy weekly and rarely actually vent to him. However, he has walked in on me cutting myself, etc. I feel like I stress him out with it sometimes. And he even admitted to me he'd love being around me more if I was more stable. He himself has plenty of mental health issues. Today, October 26, 2022, I skipped work, as I had several panic attacks before my shift and ended up calling in sick. The past few days I've been having multiple panic attacks a day. Over my husband and the way he speaks to other women. I've become more aware of him and all his red flags. My husband left earlier for 3 hours without saying a word to me about it. He left his computer on. I walked into our bedroom and seen it on. I ignored it at first. Until my husband came home, he wouldn't answer my questions as to where he was. I was concerned. He got a Snapchat notification and it went through to his computer. Whilst he was downstairs grabbing his clothes out of the dryer and feeding the dog, I checked the notification out of curiosity, hoping it would answer my questions my husband failed to answer. And it did. It was nudes sent by an old friend of his that I recognized by name, and then she texted, "Nice seeing you today, baby X." I added her on Snapchat and asked her if she knew my husband. She told me that he was a friend. She asked me if I was related to him, as my Snapchat is my first and last name with numbers. I took his last name. And I proceeded to tell her me and him are married. She began to apologize as soon as she heard this, saying he had told her he was single with no girlfriend or wife. I was heartbroken. She told me she would have never spoke to him if she knew he was married. He didn't wear the ring when they were out that day. He lied. He lied to her and he lied to me. I confronted my husband, and I have never seen that man so angry. I was afraid of him. I've never been so scared of him before. He was yelling and seemed to have no sympathy for me. Then he dried my tears, only to punch the wall multiple times and rip our bedroom door of the hinges. He broke his fist. I had to bring him to the hospital, sat in that waiting room with him for hours, and we barely spoke. We are back now. We have no bedroom door and nothing was solved. He is no longer angry at me. And we even were having a laugh together. He's now drinking. I told him I was going to sleep early. I can't leave my husband. I love him and he loves me. Yet I feel so helpless. I'm also 7 months pregnant with our first child. I can't leave him. I love him and I can't afford a baby on my own. And he doesn't seem like the type of man that would pay child support. I don't know what to think. Forgive but not forget, I suppose. I'm not mad at the women he cheated on me with. If anything, I feel sorry for her. Edit, November 26, 2022. It's been about a month since I wrote this, I am pretty sure. I left my husband and cut him off completely. He did multiple things after I wrote this that made me fall out of love with him. Walking in on him having sex with his girl best friend. I don't think I did ever love him. I'm staying with my parents at the moment. They said they are more than happy to help me raise my baby whilst she's still very young. I haven't had her yet, and I don't think I will ever let her father meet her. He's tried to reach out to me multiple times. He's blackmailed me, telling me that he will leak our sex tape to my work. Telling me he will get somebody to kill me. He no longer scares me. I am a lot emotionally stronger than he is. That night that I walked out of his house for the last time didn't even upset me. He wanted me to beg for him to stay, but I didn't. I said okay, and left. He expected me to cry in front of him when he told me he would leave. He wanted me to show weakness like I did all them times before. And now it's him begging my friends to tell me to meet up with him, etc. I don't even acknowledge him anymore. He's a big child. And I refuse to give him the attention he craves. I'm talking to another man now. And don't miss my husband in the slightest. Looking back, I don't think I ever did truly love him. No matter how harsh that sounds. It was just puppy love that ended in a stupid marriage. I don't miss him. In fact, I kind of forgot about him until I seen this post. I was on the verge of committing suicide because of him. Now I no longer care. He can leak my sex tape, he can threaten to kill me. It doesn't faze me. I refuse to allow myself to be weak to him. To submit to him. I no longer need him. And I never will ever again.
We hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And before you go, please be sure to subscribe for more.